It is Sunday, August 23rd. This is the Uncle Buzz Show. I'm your host, Uncle Buzz. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Just a reminder, if you haven't already, please download the Apex Radio app and please follow us on all social platforms. I'm here with my reoccurring, esteemed, um, familiar guest, so to speak.
And will continue to be reoccurring, man.
That's a fact. That's
Shin
a fact.
Beats, man.
Shin Beats in the building. Yes, sir.
Salute to everybody, man. What's good, yo? Uncle
Okay.
Buzz Show. Be back again, man.
I'm good, man. How you been, bro?
Good. You know, can't complain, man. Made
Yeah,
it through the week and shit.
We took a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back again. Want to apologize to everybody last week. We were off. We just had some family things to take care of. But we're back in full effect. And we got a good one for you guys today, I think. Something that we always talk about. You know, it's like a barbershop topic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's interchangeable. It's very subjective, also. You know what I'm saying? So we also want your opinions in the comments and anywhere you can leave your opinions where you see this.
The live chat, you know what I'm saying?
Live chat, all of that, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Today we're talking about the top 15 underrated rappers of all time. Now, this list is a subjective list. We're going as Chin is my guest here. We're going based off of Chin's list here. We're going back and forth. So I think it's a dope list that he's compiled here. We will leave the list of artists in the comments for you also.
No doubt. The list I made maybe like a couple years back, you know what I'm saying? I forgot I made it. I was high one day. You know, I had a meme app. You know, I was getting fly with the app. You know what I'm saying? So I did a little 1-2, you know what I'm saying? Put some faces on it. You know, I might do it in like documentary form later on. We're gonna, you know, we won't zip through it, but we'll just give a little brief 15 rundown. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
yeah, man.
So
considering my bad, but considering all the craziness and wackiness that's going on in hip hop right now, man. You know, just want to show love to some of the dudes that are fire and dope, but don't always get the respect and the accolades that they deserve. So, you know.
And I mean, what I like about, we'll get into this too as we're going along and like as we wrap up, I guess. But what I like about where we're at in hip hop right now too, and we'll also do another show where this is concerned too, because I think this is a broader topic that we can expand on. But I think where we are in hip hop right now also, because it's you have access to so many different platforms to get people's music.
Yeah.
And it's not so much like when we were growing up back in the day where everything was based off of what you heard on the radio, so to speak. Right. And like you would run, or music video, and then you'd run from there to see what you heard, so to speak, around on those forums. And that's where you get your music, you know what I'm saying? And then you try to find it. Now your favorite rapper you can access much easier. So the beautiful thing about it is it may be underrated in terms of global appeal, but artists still get their due now, just based off of the communities and the, you know what I'm saying, the communities they cultivate.
Yeah,
a little bit better. You know,
everybody has their respective fan base now. It's not like underrated where everyone's kind of sharing the same community or audience. You know what I mean? It's kind of like everybody has their own type of flavor now. So
that's right.
There's a lane for everybody. Yeah. So you know,
which is a good thing.
Perfect time to do it. Why not? You know.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna get into the list here. I'm gonna start at number 15. Number 15, Big Crit. Out of
I had on the list.
Out of
Big Crit.
Out of Memphis, I believe.
No, Mississippi.
Mississippi, forgive me. It was one of those.
Jackson, Mississippi, I believe.
Yeah, forgive me, Crit. I apologize. You're probably not gonna hear
Memphis
this.
Sounds like Mississippi, man. It's okay. You're good, bro.
Yeah. One of those southern M states.
Right.
But yes, from Mississippi. Big Crit. Talk about Big Crit, brother.
Big Crit is one of the dopest artists to come out of the South, man, because he's a self-made, self-sufficient type of guy, man. He makes his own beats. I think he's one of the dopest Southern producers to come out, period. You know what I mean? I don't think he gets his respect for that. He's like a J. Cole in that way, where he raps on his own stuff.
Yeah.
But you're like, who made that beat? You know what I mean? Because sometimes when the rapper is rapping on the beat, you don't really see, you don't really get that he made the beat also, but
right.
he's talented, man. He's talented in both areas, you know. And I think he's one of the most lyrical to come out of the South too.
Definitely.
You know, he's a lyricist as well. So
100%.
Sorry, aside from the production and how elaborate he is with that, he's also very lyrical and it matches up with the production, man. He's just a high level artist to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he gets the respect, maybe because of label situations or whatnot, but he's always gotten my respect and he's always been on my radar. Maybe not on the world's radar all the time, but you ask around in circles, I'm sure Big Crit, you know what I mean? They'll give it up. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. 10 albums in 10 years.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? An album per year average, so to speak.
Okay.
Wow.
Projects. We'll call them projects now because
we
don't know if something's a mixtape or an album.
I seen him post it. I seen him post it on I guess it was Instagram. But I seen him post it, and I hadn't realized either how many projects he put out over the past decade. From 2010 till now.
Forever in a Day, Return of Forever, King, I forgot, KING or something like that.
Yeah. There's a bunch of them, man.
Or KRIT or something like that.
Yeah.
Crit Was Here. A lot of them.
Crit Was Here, yeah. Like I guess my favorite would have been around my favorites would have been around the Forever in a Day and Return of Forever.
Yep.
I guess it was around those times.
Yeah. Catalactica.
Catalactica and like those so R4 theme. Was it R4 theme, I believe.
Yeah.
R4 theme. Refrain from being lame.
Yeah. That's on Forever in a Day, I think.
That's right. Around that time,
that was the intro.
Yeah, that's when I was big on Crit, but Crit, I think Crit carried on the Pimp C legacy in the sound of music, so to speak. Not necessarily the content so much, but the sound and the way he raps and the production. I think he carried on Pimp C's legacy a little bit there.
Spirit,
right, and of course around the time when. No, you're good. No, you're good. No worries. That's all good.
My shit is wilding, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right. You know when the phone vibrates, I had it stood up on the.
Nah, you're good. It's all good.
All right, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Yeah. We're good. We're back at it. Okay. I was saying around the time of the I guess you could say around the ASAP, when ASAP was hot, doing the southern swang Houston sound. I think that's when that sound that Crit was doing also kind of flourished around that time too. The when dudes are doing that swang thing that came back a little bit, the chopped and screwed and all that kind of has ties within each other in that area, I guess you could say, of the South.
Yeah. Sure.
And not to disrespect the South and South, because of course there's the differences in the intricacies in each genre and each region, but yeah, definitely Crit, is one of the better artists, definitely the top 10, I'd say, over the past 10 years. In terms of artists that have come up.
Yeah, the new generation type cats, definitely put them up there.
Number 14, we got Freeway, Philadelphia Freeway.
Free.
Okay, so
can you talk about his first album?
Oh my goodness, classic.
You have to go in depth, but man, that was a classic, no? Philadelphia Freeway was a classic.
We're gonna do that album.
Yeah, we gotta do that album.
Philadelphia Freeway, definite classic.
Philadelphia Freeway is a classic, man.
Yeah, that album. At that time, that's probably one of the best Rockefeller offerings during the Rockefeller era.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Freeway, not only underrated artist, but that's one of the more underrated albums in hip hop history. Also, Philadelphia Freeway.
Yep. His catalog is crazy, man. He has the joint with Jake One.
Yeah.
The Stimulus Package album. He has Free at Last. It has some joints on there. You know what I mean? Like he has some. His catalog is pretty fire, man. It's not extensive, but He has joints, man. And
Definitely.
Freeway was like the one of the standouts aside from Beanie Siegel, like State
Oh,
Property.
100%.
You know, so you got to give him
100%.
that. Like he's been a part of that movement. You know.
And I think too, one of Freeway's what made Freeway stand out too that I always noticed in the way that he rapped, his rap pattern was I always kind of like I I uh I used to say it was like one rhymed with four and two rhymed with three, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you're doing when you're breaking
Yeah.
it
His
down.
rhyme schemes, yeah.
Right. So Freeway would be like
Yeah.
something, something, something when I went to the store, something, 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 and I had a good day, something, 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 something that I had to say, something, 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 but I had to get some more. You know, like
More.
that's something that Freeway would do.
Yeah.
You know, so like I always noticed that, and it was something that made him stand out to me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like definitely
Yeah.
one of my
That's
favorites on the
this
Rockefeller roster.
unorthodox type shit. The way he was able to translate that is dope, man.
Yeah, it was
Sure.
amazing.
What
It
We
was
Do
amazing.
Was Wrong is a classic. Flip Side. He has shit, man. I'm not gonna,
Classics,
I can't
classics.
front on Free, man.
All right is another underrated classic record. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Classic
Like,
record. Yeah.
um,
Facts.
yeah, shout out to Freeway, amazing, amazing rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13, Fonte of Little Brother.
Ante, what can I say? Dope, man.
Yeah,
One of the dopest rappers to come out of the South the past 20 years.
yeah,
Maybe in hip hop period. He probably won't get his respect because of how his career went. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
he is like eons ahead of niggas, man. When it
yeah,
comes to that pen, you know what I'm saying? So,
definitely.
and he's a
Fonte's
good
amazing.
singer. You know, yeah, good singer. Foreign Exchange is like great music. No one knows about Foreign Exchange, check that out too.
Yeah,
That's like Fonte's offshoot group with Nicolay, a producer is dope R&B type stuff, man. But he's just well-rounded, thought-provoking,
yeah,
message-driven. You know what I'm saying? Like lyrical, punchline. He has everything in his verses. So can't front on him, man. Can't front on Fonte. If you know Fonte, you know.
yeah. And what I liked about Fonte was I guess he was like a pioneer in the Fonte Kanye West a little bit, or Kanye rather, kind of like Fonte and Kanye in the same time to kind of
Mm-hmm.
kickstart. And then you have Drake and Big Sean and other people coming off afterwards. Whereas like it was that normal rap, I guess you could call it, where like
Yeah.
they would just like talk about things like even the track with Kanye and Little Brother together. I see now.
Yep.
You was bigger, you on the rebound.
Rebound.
Just like like content where it's like or like subject matter that wasn't necessarily common among
Yeah.
no pun intended, but
Yeah.
you
Right.
know
Right.
subject matter that wasn't common among what was going on at the time wasn't really gangster, but at the same time it wasn't lovey-dovey, it wasn't for the ladies, it was just like regular things that were
Common
going
man
on.
type rap. Yeah.
Kanye wrapped up working at the Gap, and working a slave ship,
Yeah.
like and all falls down, and if you listen to Little Brother's catalog, the, that's kind of like what Minstrel Show and these things were centered around.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
always,
man.
I always liked Fontaine. I always thought he was underrated, and he's one of those like I guess a triple threat. I guess you could say quadruple threat. Where
Oh yeah.
you could do podcasts.
Yeah.
He can be a lead singer, writer, rapper. Just amazing
Just a
talent.
creative guy, man. Just a creative
Yeah.
guy overall. You know what I mean? And
Joe
simple
Budden says
presentation.
Joe Budden always said there's certain rappers that he puts like they're out of this world, like like they're on a different planet type of, they're like aliens. Like Fonte's one of them. You know what I'm saying? I think he listed him as one of them. I have to agree.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
Like
Fonte's
blue
amazing.
collar Renaissance man type rap. Fonte
Yes,
is like the
blue collar rap. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
really, 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 and he was really effective in doing it too. Very
yeah,
effective.
yeah,
Like getting the
yeah.
message they were trying to convey. Um,
Absolutely.
Number 12, interesting pick. Twista out of Chicago. Talk about that because I want to hear why you would say Twista number 12, underrated.
I think Twista's had a great career, man. He's been around since the early '90s. I've heard a Twista song in 2020. You know, he had his run with Kanye. He had the overnight celebrity. He had the #1 hit with Slow Jams. You
That's
know,
right.
he had the Rockefeller run. You know, when he was on
That's
We Are
right.
the Champions, and he's just been in the circle. He's just always been around the do or die stuff, the
Yeah.
co-pimping. You know what I'm saying? He had the
Yeah.
I said R. Kelly, but he had those records that were big as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trey Songz record. Swiss has always managed to, even with his niche, I think it's kind of hard on people's ears. I think generally, rapping that fast, you know, I think he's a great talent. I think he has the Guinness record, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, I'm not sure if Eminem beat it. I don't know. I'm not too sure.
I think maybe Eminem beat it with Rap God.
Rap God, yeah.
Yeah, but Twista's like one of the most talented rappers we have, man. You know, it's like he found his I guess his sound, how he raps. You know, you can say, oh, that's a Twista type beat. You can hear Twista going off on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
He just has his own style, man. And I think, you know, he just get more light shit on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, like, yo, like I remember when I heard Overnight Celebrity, yo. Overnight Celebrity?
Yep.
Man. Like was that was the Lenny Williams
sample, yeah.
Man, like, yo,
yeah.
Twista, like when he came back, like with that, like that was one of the best comebacks I ever saw in rap too.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. I wouldn't even say comeback. It was just like finally.
Finally,
you know
there you go.
Like, finally,
you're right. It wasn't so much of a comeback. It was like finally, because he didn't really have. He didn't like. I mean, people knew of him, and but
Chicago legend before.
Yeah, 100%. But he didn't have the mainstream success. I don't think that he should have had, because even with Adrenaline Rush and some of those records back in the day, like like he should have. I think it should have been translated, but I guess at the time it didn't. It wasn't a flavor at that time. But he was able to get that across globally, mainstream wise, when around that time. It was amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It was just fire, man.
That's a fact, man.
Number 11 is one of my personal favorites. And I'm glad you have him on here, because he tends to not.
List, man. Like,
no, that's all good. I'm glad I got here. I'm glad I got it here. Yeah. I'm glad you have him on here, because he I don't think he's respected, but not in the way that some might think he how do I say it? I don't want to say should be, because he gets respect where he should also. But there's also another aspect to him that I think that is very underrated. Number 11, Max B.
Ow.
So wavy.
Wavy Crockett, the Silver Surfer, man.
Absolutely.
Max B, the hook, one of the hook kings, man.
Changed the game.
Bigger Valley, man.
Completely changed the game.
What?
Especially on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? For New York hip hop.
Yeah. I would say we say wavy right now because of Max B.
100%.
Whoever says wavy, whoever has wavy in their vocab, in their personal vocabulary, you need to thank Max B for that.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts. Starts with Max B.
Period, man. The mixtape series, the Public Domain, the Vigilante season is
amazing, like, shit, man.
Even the stuff he's put out like while he's in jail, man. It's like it's really good. I suggest people check it out, man. Charlie EP, and I think he has forgot what the other one was called. I gotta go check, but crazy, man. Like classics. Harlem. He's a little bit regional, I would say, because he hasn't had a hit record like a Billboard.
Right. Definitely regional, but the influence, I think, is an underground, nationwide thing.
Yeah.
Like low key nationwide, I think the influence is there, but just in terms of, I think, success and like star power, that's definitely a regional thing. I think with Max B for sure, but 100% changed the game.
Absolutely, man.
And the intricacies in some of his melodies, Like it sounds, it just sounds like a guy bellowing, some hood nigga bellow. But if you
Yeah,
listen to
yeah,
some of the
yeah, yeah,
melodies he
yeah,
comes up with, and not
yeah.
even some of the melodies, because majority of his music is melodies.
Right.
And he put out tons of mixtapes of this. So like
Non-stop. He was like
yeah,
Tupac in the little brief
yeah.
time he was rapping. Yeah.
And I remember he said, I think in an interview he said that he a lot of his influence comes from like 80s soft rock and 80s hair metal
Mm,
and 80s alternative 90s alternative and things like that where
makes sense.
to get some of those melodies, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so you can kind of hear it with his music,
He gives off that hood, like that hood nigga, like sorry, the hood dude, like that tries to sing in the hood, use like it's like
hmm
in a jokey, like
hmm
is that elements in all of us, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that sing in
yeah,
the shower type of
definitely.
we think we sound good in the shower, but we sound trash, nigga type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
No, definitely.
that's Max, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
Max.
So
That's like the Max provided that because I mean with Nate Dogg was actually singing,
yeah.
and there was a lot of falsetto in Nate Dogg, and there was a lot of vibrato,
Hmm.
and just like different types of things that Nate Dogg was doing with his music. Max was like for the dude that was just like singing along with Nate Dogg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so like I think that's what the
Exactly.
appeal.
That's a perfect way to put it. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's what the appeal
Right.
was where Max was concerned.
Yep.
Number 10, Rock Marciano.
Yeah. You agree or not?
Definitely agree. I mean, we've had this running joke going back and forth because for years he's been playing Rock Marciano, and in the beginning I didn't
My
really,
guy, man.
I understood it. I knew Rock Marciano came from, he's obviously from Flip Mode back in the day and whatnot. But like
Hmm.
I could hear obviously they have bars, but like there's always there's certain rappers where it's like you either get it or you don't in terms of like why they think they're stars. They're not
Yeah.
actually stars, but anybody who listens to them legitimately thinks this is like God rapping right now. It's like he has Rock Marciano has that effect. I'm not saying like necessarily with you, but just like I've seen this with a lot of his fans,
Hmm.
like the MF Doom effect.
Yeah.
Not to no spoiler alerts or not to foreshadow or anything, but the MF Doom effect. The
Oh, Watch Mojo does that shit all the time,
yeah, shout out to them.
man.
We can't. Shout,
Nah, nah, go ahead, go ahead, go
yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah. The MF Doom effect, the Ghostface Killer effect.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
I don't want to say Royce because Royce has had the mainstream success that I think Rock hasn't. You know what I'm saying? Ghostface kind of had the
Hmm.
mainstream success too rather. So I will kind of keep it in like the Doom realm, where it's like this underground rapper where
Right.
like everybody who hasn't heard him doesn't understand why people who do listen to him think he's like the greatest ever at that time.
They get it. They
and
get
and
it. Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's like an
yeah, yeah.
exaggeration a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. Rock Marciano is like has that
Right, right,
effect. He has
right.
that appeal. That's why I was always laughing. I was like, "Who does this guy think he is?" It was always like that type of like, "Who's this?
Yeah,
Who's this nigga think he is?" You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
that's like
yeah.
Rock is amazing. And I mean, you could see the influence. I don't want to say influence, but you can kind of see like I guess you could say influence or the pattern going forward with like Griselda and a lot of the stuff you
Mhm.
hear upstate. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, talk
Yeah,
about Rock Marcy because that's your artist, yo. How do you
yeah.
feel about
That's
Rock
he.
Marcy?
You just said it. You just said it. Pretty much all of it, man. But
My bad.
uh, he's also a producer.
That's
Um,
right. That's
he's
right.
also his discography is crazy, and
Yes.
I feel like he's the architect of like the I wouldn't say boom bap, but the sample based type sound we have now.
Yeah.
Rock was like one of the first to like deliberately loop certain things and have no, you know what I mean? I
No
wouldn't say like
drums,
in
no
an
hi
MF
hats, no
Doomish
bass
way,
lines.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. I think Doom
yeah,
is like
like
the
bare
architect.
minimal type shit.
100%. I think Doom is the architect for that. And then I think Rock kind of like noticed that and picked it
Yeah,
up and kind of
exactly,
dusted it off a bit, so to speak. Like,
exactly,
oh
right.
shit, there's this whole looping the sample, no drums, rapping, you know what I'm saying, that fly shit over and over again, every record.
Right.
You know, very little uh thematic subject matter, but just like bars, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
and then you get that with Bronson, you get that with Griselda, you know,
Exactly.
BSF, you know, and things of that nature.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Hmm.
Definite uh
Ripple effect, you know?
definite ripple effect. That's it right there.
Yeah. Got
That's
to
right.
give Rock that, you know?
100%.
I think West Side Gun and them are probably more popular,
Right.
but if you ask them, they'll say Rock, you
You
know?
ask a lot of people, they'll say Rock.
The tree of Rock.
That's the fun. That's what I'm saying. It's that thing where it's like people who know. It's like a if you know type of situation with Rock.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like always
That's what
been.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9, we got the Queen's Native coming out of G Unit, Mr. Lloyd Banks.
Ooh.
At number 9,
Ooh.
underrated. Talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that. Talk about
No.
that. I mean, I think by this point, as far as the punchline influence is where rapping is concerned, I think Lloyd is probably one of the forefathers. I think they put him up there with like maybe
Yeah.
Fab and you know a couple other dudes.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely it was him and Fab at one point battling for the punchline king. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like, and it goes back and forth. I'm sure, you know, like some people think that he's PLK, and for the most part, I think he's won it at this point that he is PLK. But I not to go into what you were gonna say, but just quickly, why I would agree that he is that he's underrated is songs like Karma. I
Mm.
think Karma is what does it.
I am the one in
Yes,
your
and then the ability to transition from the way he was rapping before. You know, when it was over, because there's not another guys walking, and then you know, like the Negro leagues, and then
Yeah, the low pitch voice. Yeah.
to where he is now, where
Yep.
it's not so much punchlines anymore. Where Lloyd is rapping his ass off. Pause. Like he's rapping right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like lately over the
Absolutely.
past few years,
100%.
as opposed to what he was doing when he first came out. And it's not an as opposed to situation where he wasn't rapping before. It's just like a different type of like he tapped into a different type of rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
tapped into a different type of rapping, so to speak.
Yeah.
How you feel about
Yeah.
Lloyd though?
Um, I think he doesn't get the respect he deserves as a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I think he had a great debut album that people sleep on, The Hunger for More. I think that was an
Definitely,
incredible album. I think that
definitely,
was one
man.
of probably the best album out of the G Unit camp. One of the
Definitely,
best albums next to Get Rich, or you can put it a top 3 or whatever. But go back to it
definitely.
if you don't believe me. But Punchline King, the PLK, self-proclaimed, we proclaim, whatever you want to proclaim. You know what I'm saying?
100.
He has that belt. You know what I'm saying? And he has like classic, legendary punchlines that people remember. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So,
Absolutely.
um, uh, even his mixtape run is crazy. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
the more lyrical one out of G Unit. Yeah, man, it's just you can give Banks a lot of accolades, man. He went platinum with Hunger for More. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think
Definitely.
that falls asleep on people's thoughts. You know what I'm saying? So I think Banks needs to get more respect in that regard, man. He's held
100%.
it down for like at least a decade. You know what I'm saying? He's been around, so I give it to Banks for sure, man. He's in that top 10, man.
Definitely, man.
One of the better rappers from that mixtape period. I'll say
He
that.
was. He was. And that's the thing about Banks. Like, he, on his own, kind of cemented his legacy away from G Unit
Mhm.
without doing much outside of G Unit. You
Right.
know, like, but I think the other rappers that were in G Unit their legacies will pretty much have G Unit attached to it solely and from the majority of the part. But I think Banks kind of like cemented his legacy in little other ways, like with the PLK thing,
Hmm.
with continuing, um, like with switching his style, so to speak, coming back
Right.
out, putting out mixtapes, like maintaining that fan base. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
yeah,
Absolutely. I
Banks is
agree.
definitely up there. Banks is definitely up there.
No doubt.
Number 8, we have Pharaoh Monch.
Real much.
Yeah.
I put him at number 8.
You put him at number 8.
Yeah, okay,
How
okay, okay, okay.
do you feel about that? Yeah.
Yeah, put him too high. I don't know. I don't want to slight him, man. Organized Confusion, the Rockets movement. He's one of the more esteemed ghostwriters in
Right.
hip hop. He's written for Puff. He's written for countless people, man. Pharoah Monch is out of that Rockets camp. It was Most Def, Quali. I think Black Thought was around, and Pharoah Monch, bro.
Yeah.
Internal Affairs.
Yeah.
Simon Says is a classic. You can't front on Simon
Oh, that's
Says.
a classic, 100%.
The Light is maybe a frowned upon classic, a slept on one.
Slept on.
At the time, it was like out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Common has the Light also, correct?
Yes. I'm not talking about the Common's The Light.
No, 100%.
The Light too.
Absolutely. What I would suggest to people is and I'm not going to say one is better than the other, but I will definitely say that Pharoah Monch's The Light is comparable to Common's classic The Light also.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of like the song, it's an amazing, amazing song.
Dope song, man.
You know?
I think it came out at the same time too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, around the same time. It was in the same era of music, you know, like
98, 99, 2000 realm, yeah.
Right.
All
right.
Yeah, man. Pharoah Monch.
Nah, shout out to Pharoah Monch, man. Definitely. Especially back then. Simon Says is in the record books. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And another thing
when you make a song like, all right, go ahead.
No, continue.
Go ahead.
Continue.
I don't want you to lose your thought. I was just saying
continue, brother. Please
you
continue.
Make a song, Simon Says, you don't got to make nothing else, man. If you got Simon Says in your catalog, you can go anywhere in the planet that has a hip hop concert and drop that, and the crowd will go crazy. When you have that in your catalog, bro, no one can say much.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's a fact.
And the point I was gonna make is there's a lot of songs around that time of the conscious. I don't want to just say conscious, but like the conscious, I guess you could say time. Like I hate to say that, but the conscious rap time.
I know what you mean.
You know, the Dead Prez, the Raucous, you know, like certain
the Raucous movement. Just say the Raucous movement.
The Raucous movement, Dead Prez Cave was an extension of that and things of that nature. But there's a lot of songs around that time that like were and are legendary party starting hip hop tracks. You know, and I guess like the times are changing now, and they've dramatically changed since when we were coming up. But just at the time when we were coming up, certain songs like Simon Says is bigger than hip hop, Cher Shayla Ghost, certain songs like that just like completely blew the party up. You know, so they'll always have their just due, like, you know, for in those areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as bars, Pharoah Monch, when it comes to bars, Pharoah Monch is like he's not second to a whole lot. You know, he can rap his ass off.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
Number 7, the DOC. Talk about the DOC.
Oh brother. Oh yeah. We're looking at one of the greatest rappers of all time if he did not get into that car accident.
Tragic, man.
I just gotta say that. The Formula, No One Can Do It Better is a classic.
That's a fact.
Please go back to that album, man. 1989 DOC. You know, classic. The Formula is out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
Truth.
Everyone knows DOC is one of those guys, man. You know, it's like Erykah Badu doesn't fuck with rappers that can't rap. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
You know, it's Jay Electronica, it's Andre 3000, and it's DOC.
And Common.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, Common too. Common can flow too. Common can rap. Let's not get twisted.
Of course.
DOC is DOC, man. When No One Can Do It Better came out, he was that guy, man.
This is a fact.
I was probably too young, but when I revisited, I found that out. You know what I'm saying? He was writing for NWA. He was writing all those joints. You know what I mean? Everything that was on Straight Outta Compton, Niggas for Life, and all that. He was writing majority of that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to give
The
it up to
truth,
DOC for the pen
definitely.
and just being dope. Period, man. You know what I mean? And
Doc,
it's
he
a
helped.
shame that he lost his voice.
He helped with the makings of Snoop. You know, like
Yeah, exactly. That too. Yep, was instrumental
definitely,
in Snoop. Grooming him and getting him right on these joints, man. DOC was a part of that whole West Coast invasion. You know what I mean?
oh,
Being from
definitely,
Dallas, Texas, too. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta take that into account as well. You know what I'm saying?
definitely, man. The DLC was amazing, and the formula, yes,
Yes, the
still one of the
formula.
greatest records I've ever heard in my life. No,
Oh
no
yeah,
question. Hip hop records
Dr.
I've ever
Dre,
heard.
man,
Definitely.
absolutely crazy. Fire.
Number 6, we got Elzai out
Yep,
of Slum Village, Detroit.
brother. Elzad's an animal.
Yeah.
This little, he's older than me probably, but this nerdy looking dude is a
Yeah.
monster animal,
Amazing.
man.
Amazing,
Animal
man.
on the mic, man. Underrated, crazy. Came into Slum Village and just messed up the whole situation, man. Was bodying T3. I shout out to T3 and Bod 10, but he was bodying them on every song, man.
Yeah.
That was scary.
I always felt like I never felt like Slum Village before Elzai was a particularly lyrical group. And I don't think that the music that Slum Village made rather, I don't think like the brunt of it fell on the shoulders of the rappers. I think the brunt of it fell on the shoulders of Dilla and Dilla's production. I think that's what drew
Mm-hmm.
people to Slum Village in the beginning.
That was Slum Village, the vibe,
Yeah,
yeah.
and Slum Village knew how to maintain Dilla's vibe because obviously, you know what I'm saying, like they're from the same place,
Yeah.
same music, whatever.
Exactly.
When Elzai came into the picture, I think that changed the tone of Slum Village in that people were listening for what they were saying now, as opposed to
Yeah.
maintaining just a vibe. Because I don't think that's one of Elzai's strong points, maintaining a vibe on a record. Elzai comes on a record and he destroys records.
Facts.
And I think that's like that might I think that might lend itself to why he's underrated. But at the same time, like because like people might not necessarily catch that because a vibe has to be maintained for people to want to hear a song more than one time. You can't just
Right.
bar your life away and it's on a song and it not have any replay value past the bars.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's not what Elzai did, but there, um, a huge benefit of Elzai's music was the vibe that came along with Slum Village and the Slum
Right.
Village sound.
Right.
And I think that's what made it easier for us to go back and then actually now hear the bars that he's spitting on these Dilla beats. You know what I'm saying? And then these beats after the Black Milk and whoever else. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but it's just it when you actually hear some of the stuff he's saying, the interpolation, I guess, or the remake of
Yep.
of
Illmatic.
Illmatic and then Elmatic,
Mm-hmm.
genius record, genius.
Almost you could say is see when you're getting touch the what people consider the greatest hip hop album of all time. That is ballsy, my friend. Pause.
And to actually
Brother.
and then when you listen to the record, it's not he doesn't lose the feel of the original Illmatic. Like it's dope to hear the records played out a little bit more and resampled in different ways and but like when you're listening to it, you're listening to an Elzai project, but you also get the same feel of Illmatic. He really caught that feel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's just one of other many
Exactly.
projects he has, but it's just amazing rapper, man. Amazing rapper.
Super amazing, man.
Okay, now we're in the home stretch. We're in the top 5. All right.
Okay.
So for those who've been paying attention, number 15, Big Crit. Number 14, Freeway. Number 13, Fonte. Number 12, Twista. Number 11, Max Bigavell. Number 10, Rock Marciano. Number 9, Lloyd Banks. Number 8, Pharoah Monch. Number 7, the DOC. Number 6, Elzai. We're at number 5 now. What are my personal heroes? I'm gonna let you start. I'm gonna let you start with number 5. Okay. So I'm gonna piggyback off of what you're saying because I want to get how you really feel about this particular rapper. Number 5, Sean Price, out of Brownsville, peace, Brooklyn. Rest in peace, Sean Price, the legend.
Boot camp click
the
general,
legend. Man. That term is not it's thrown around a lot. The term legend.
It's not loosely when it comes to Sean Price, man.
When you're saying legend with Sean Price, he literally is a legend, just in terms of like hip hop itself, hip hop. Yeah. Not the spectacle that hip hop is, and not everything else that comes around hip hop, but just the hip hop aspect of East Coast hip hop. We're talking about a legend here. So please go into Sean Price. Pause.
Helter Skelter, man, big part of my life. Sean Price from Monkey Bars, Jesus Price Superstar, Mike Tyson, man. I was hooked on Sean Price music, man.
Yep.
Hooked. You know, the style, the way he sounds, the way he rebranded himself from rock, become like a figure, like he's like the king of blue collar rap, but he's hardcore. He doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Just in your face rap, man. It's just like kind of gives you confidence the way he didn't care about certain things, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Sean Price, the broke rapper, you know. It's like
yeah, definitely.
And the new niggas, like it's just didn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like the ultimate anti-establishment type rapper, man. Sean
definitely,
Price,
man.
Amazing hood Brooklyn hardcore rap, you know what I'm saying, that we miss, man. We miss Sean Price, man.
Definitely missed,
bro.
Man.
I miss Sean Price, man.
I don't even know if people recognize it, but if you're privy to Sean Price, hip hop took a really big turn for the worse when he died.
Facts.
In that the rugged underground rapper, not hipster, not festival rapper. I think the spirit of Sean Price you're seeing kind of is in like and not so in certain ways, Griselda again. You know, Conway and certain people.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? In certain Rock Marciano, in certain ways, not necessarily, you know, Action Bronson. Certain people, like, I mean, when he was active, you know, Mayhem, Lorenz, certain rappers, like, I think you see the influence there in that. And there would have been a lot more, I feel, if Sean Price was still around, because he kind of was like a flag bearer and kind of set a precedent for like the I don't give a fuck rapper. Like not because there are rappers, there are these emo rappers out here and these new rappers who give you the perception that they don't give a fuck, so they do a lot of shit that comes off as trolling or comes off as like, you know, rebellious, but it's contrived. Sean Price is what I felt was one of the very few rappers in hip hop where nothing was contrived. Of course, you know, you had to market certain aspects of him, and you had to, like, you know, like characterize certain aspects of him. But just in terms of the rapper himself, the message he conveyed, nothing was contrived. Nothing. It was what you see is what you get. And I think Sean was a flag bearer for a lot of rappers at that time who were able to make a name doing that. Like Bronson, who could just take his shirt off and be that guy who's wearing, you know, not from a Rick Ross, I got chains and cars and women everywhere type of aspect. No, I'm in the hood with my shirt off and I'm fat.
Yeah.
You know, peak. Sean Price,
Onion Head,
Onion
yeah.
Head. Sean Price set the precedent for that, man. Like, I don't think people really understand, like, the creative freedom he gave underground rappers at that time.
Yes.
Also, like,
Yeah.
legend, man, legend,
It's
100%.
like we all ran. It's like I don't say well I speak for the underground. They all ran their offense through Sean Price, man. Like he was the glue. He was the nucleus to the whole that whole movement type of rap. You know what
100%,
I'm saying? So
100%, man. And I don't think it was even. I was in Alabama, and I stumbled across Monkey Bars. My homeboy,
mhm.
he had Monkey Bars, the tape or the CD, I believe. Uh,
Yeah.
and I heard that. I heard it. I heard Heartburn. That was the first Sean Price record I heard, and I remembered him as Ruck, right? Like, I remember him as Ruck. So I didn't really necessarily catch on right away with the Sean Price. But
Yeah.
when I heard Heartburn, I'm like, holy shit. It was like a
Mhm.
breath of fresh
Oh,
air, the
this love
sampling.
in my heart.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's enough to
To
make a
make a
start.
start, like,
Yeah.
bro, when I heard that
Yeah.
coming back home, like, it was around the time when I was coming back home from Alabama, so let's say 2006, 2005, 2006. And I'm not sure if it came out
Mhm.
or like maybe a year before that or around or the year of, or but it was around that time when that came out. Fam, when I heard that, I had to run home and tell you like about it, and like it just went like
Yeah.
because he brought back, not brought back, but like he, away from Little Brother, he kind of solidified Ninth Wonder too. You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and
Like,
Crisis too.
and
Yeah.
Crisis
I was
also,
just
you know,
about to
like,
say that they took their sound to Sean Price and gave it that edge where it was like Fonte and Big Pooh don't have the Sean Price edge, so you're not gonna get that hardcore feel.
right,
As soon as Sean Price jumped on those type of beats, he
right.
gave it that edge. You know what I'm saying? And
There
then
you go.
kind of like showed that other side to it. So
Exactly.
yeah,
The way,
that's a gift.
and it was almost like Ninth would try and find the most beautiful, melodic
Yeah,
music to
yeah.
sample to give this guy, and he would try and say the most vile,
Ignorant, disrespectful
ignorant,
shit you can
arrogant
think
shit
of.
on the record. You know, so like it was a
Yeah,
beautiful marriage with that, with Ninth Beats, and
the contrast.
I
Yeah,
miss Sean Price terribly,
yeah.
man. All right, coming in at number 4, a,
Yes.
a legend among men, also another legend,
Understatement.
is a true understatement.
True understatement, man. In my opinion.
This is a really tricky one, I think, because um yes, he's underrated, but your favorites, he's your favorite's favorite.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
interesting. Like, I think in terms of underground artists, he's probably regarded the number one among underground artists, just in terms
Yeah,
of, like, like why general consensus.
yeah, for sure. I
You
would
know,
agree.
yeah, just in terms of well, first let's say who it is. Number 4, MF Doom,
Mm,
the legendary MF Doom.
the legendary
Um,
Zev Love X.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? KMD, Gasface.
yeah.
Then he reappears years later with the mask known as MF Doom. Victor Vaughn,
King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah, Take Me to Your Leader. The
Yes,
list
sir.
goes on, man.
Yeah,
You
man.
know,
The vaudeville, like, um,
amazing, man. It's just like his catalog, his production, his off-kilter flow, his
yeah. I'm just trying to gather the thoughts for where Doom's concerned, because Doom's just like, it's rare. He's probably the most rare, unique rapper we've seen. Um, his ability to garner the following he has
hmm
is just sheer genius.
yeah.
The concept of his character, um, literally playing like in physical form, playing into the idea of being a supervillain in hip hop.
Right.
It's just the whole idea and concept behind it is just amazing. But like, what does Doom mean to you? Like, when did you first, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't even tell you, man. It's probably like a double XL magazine. I saw like a 2-page write up of Doom, and I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to this guy because he's in a mask and they're bigging him up and they're saying he has bars and I'm like, okay,
right,
let me hear this stuff. I was like, wow, you know what I mean? And it's
right,
like you begin to understand, Doom is like, wow, man. It's like the comic book elements with the bars and the beats. This is wow. It's just amazing how creative hip hop can be when you look at a guy like Doom. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, and he's not on the mainstream level, but everyone knows what it is with MF Doom.
yeah. It's like all the major, excuse me, all the major rappers and all your favorite rappers over time, they all are very aware of MF Doom.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Like
definitely, man. It's just
he's a favorite to a lot of people's favorite rappers.
mad villain. Yeah, exactly. The way we look at Madlib today wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for Mad Villainy. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's right.
of Doom, and it's just the way he approached hip hop is like none other. It's like his own type of thing. So
Yeah,
it's like it just broadens so many horizons for so many different artists in that lane. I mean, it's like the lo-fi movement kind of started with him too. So
definitely, definitely. And like even and then it's and then you start to think to yourself like, who's the best artist to work with?
hmm
Say Madlib, or best
right,
artist to work with Dilla. Certain thing, and it's like you hear Doom work with these guys, and you just want more because he's just able to bring that forth so well. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
what those guys are trying to do with their beats and whatnot.
right, right.
Excuse me,
Wow,
forgive
man,
me.
that's
Yeah,
all good.
sore throat. And even the fact that he's a producer in himself. You know what I'm saying? The beats that
Yeah.
he put out himself and he did
Mhm.
the different characters for different albums. Like he understood the concept of like switching up a character or like rebranding for different
Yeah,
albums.
the aliases and all that, man. It's like
Yeah, nobody ever
no other
really
rapper
seen his
thinks on that
face.
level.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of people who've never seen Doom's face. I mean, they've seen his
yeah,
face when he was younger, but like it, like like in 2020, what very few people know what Doom's face looks like in 2020. Like the way he's been able
yeah.
to carry that out too. And like in physical form
Mhm.
is just insane too. Like it's just
Right.
yeah, Doom's on another
Yeah.
level.
The imposter. There's so many elements to this guy, man. It's like
And then his
he's really a
albums,
villain.
like
Yeah.
Mad Villain, Food, King Ghidorah.
Mhm.
These are albums that you could easily say are like among the greatest albums in hip hop ever
For sure.
because they're like audio comic books, literally. Like, and it's just
Yeah.
the lyrics are out of this world. He was a punchline rapper before a lot of dudes were punchline rappers, and it's like it was like a
Facts.
slow burn. Like a lot of people, like it's just you caught on, and then once you get I guess you could say once you experience Doom for the first time, his music or a show or a video or whatever, just see him in a magazine or whatever it is. Like once you experience it for the first time, it's like it's either you get it or you don't.
hmm
Like
Right. Right. Right.
it's not like well, I guess he's cool. Yeah, he's all right. Nah, like when you hear Doom, you're like, holy shit. If you get it, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the
Absolutely.
effect
I
that Doom
agree,
had.
man.
That's the
Yeah.
effect that Doom had. You know what I'm
You really
saying?
got to
Like
listen into what you got to really listen in. But he draws you in that way. It's not like you got to. It's not like you try with Doom. It's
right.
like you get it. You know what I mean? It's like and then Doom fans know Doom songs word for word. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Real
he's a
shit.
different kind of guy like that, man. He really is.
Absolutely, man.
hmm
Number three. We're in the top three now.
Top three most
Um,
underrated, understated.
yeah. Another legend in the hip hop game. I think he's widely regarded as a legend.
hmm
Um, I can understand why he would be on the underrated list. And if he's on the underrated list, I can understand why he's so high.
Yeah.
Because I think he's one of the greatest rappers we've ever had in hip hop. Um, uh, Number three from Brooklyn, AZ.
Mm. I
So
want you.
Sugar Hill, Hey AZ.
AZ,
I mean,
man.
the list goes on with the songs, the albums. Do or Die, you know what I'm saying, being his debut, probably
Classic.
widely regarded as a hip hop classic. Uh, probably for
Let's just say it, man. He's Nas without Illmatic.
yeah.
Let's just say it. Let's just put it
I
out there,
mean,
man. He's Nas without Illmatic, man. This guy is Luigi. If Nas is Mario, AZ is Luigi. If
I
Nas
wouldn't
is
even.
Scorpion,
Yeah, that's a better one. I was about to say. Like, I'll take it to those games. If Nas is Scorpion, he's Sub Zero. If
right?
Nas is Ken, he's Ryu. Like
Ryu.
Luigi was I guess he wasn't so much a lesser version, but you didn't.
No, I wouldn't say Luigi.
It didn't feel like when you were playing with Mario. But with these guys,
Right.
like these ones here, it's like it's comparable. Like he was. I always felt like he was. Yeah, man. The mirror. And it's not like they rapped exactly the same, and they had the exact same content and things like that. But just in terms of like two rappers, like Nas, I think always AZ was always that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Without the I guess crossover appeal, or I guess the business moves that Nas made, or whatever the case may be over time.
Mm-hmm.
Easily could have been in Nas's position, I think, personally. Just not. He's just
Yeah.
not Nas. Nas has the it factor, I guess, that he didn't.
Exactly. I think
Nas,
he's
I
a
guess,
little bit of
probably
an
tackled more
exaggeration.
different things, maybe a little bit more
Sure.
controversial than AZ was able to go.
Right.
But just in terms of like the raw ability, there's very few that can go toe to toe with AZ.
You said it all, man.
Yeah.
You said it all. Do or Die, Asiatic, Pieces of a Man.
Piece of a Man.
The Format.
Format.
Check out AZ's catalog, man. If you haven't yet, man, I suggest you do, man, because
Absolutely.
this guy's a lot of gems in his catalog, man. And I wish he worked with Nas more often.
Definitely.
He got him on Life's a Bitch, but
I mean, even the joint tracks that they have, the Firm, he did get him a license. But even the joint tracks that they have, with the Firm, the stuff they did on the Firm, definitely this is the whole Firm record, and an affirmative action and these things, and then How You Living, just the back and forth that him and Nas used to do on those records is just amazing. You know what I'm saying? Him, like, and I hate to always preface Nas when talking about AZ, because AZ in himself as an MC is highly regarded as one of the greats, one of the gods of hip hop. But I just think from a mainstream standpoint, definitely underrated. I don't think he gets the just due he probably should have got in the mainstream.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree for sure.
Interesting pick for number 2, but I understand it. Again, we're in the top 2, ladies and gentlemen. Top 2.
The top 2.
We're gonna review again once we get past number 2, before we get to number 1. Yeah, I think number 1. Well, yeah, we're gonna with number 1. We're gonna, and I think we can throw some honorable mentions in there also.
Okay.
But number 2. I don't want to do too much of a lead up into this one. Just you just let me know how you feel about it, because I have my own thoughts too, but I want to hear your thoughts, just like leading into it. Number 2, Treach from New Jersey, out of Naughty by Nature. How do you feel about Treach?
Wow. How do I feel about Treach, man? How do I feel about Naughty by Nature? First of all, they're underrated in the group.
Yeah.
They're one of the greatest groups of all time. But Treach was just ahead of the curve, man. He was just against the grain. His flow, from being from Jersey, him and Redman held it down in the early 90s coming from Jersey. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Treach was right there with Tupac, man. I'm telling you. When it came to those top guys like 92, 93, 94, Treach was in that running, man.
Definitely.
It's just because he was so group oriented. I think it didn't really display individually because you had so much going on with Naughty by Nature. You had Vinny
Right.
doing some verses here and there. Although they don't consider Vinny a rapper like that, he did rap with Naughty by
I think
Nature
I
as
think I
well.
think Tretch wrote the lyrics for Vinny, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken. I think
yeah.
Tretch said that.
I
Yeah.
heard something like that too.
Yeah.
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 But Naughty by Nature put out classics, man, and 90% of that or 85% of that lyrically has to go to Tretch, man.
Yeah,
Because
100%.
what he's been able, yeah, what he's given to the game is just amazing, man.
Definitely, definitely. I think Eminem said one of his biggest influences was Tretch. Just in the way that he raps and the thing, like in his rhyme pattern and things like that. I think Eminem
Yeah.
said that Tretch is a big influence for him. And it makes sense, obviously, because I think you can kind of hear it. Not to say that Eminem raps exactly like Tretch, but I think you can hear the influences
Mhm.
if you listen to
Yeah.
Tretch's flow. Um,
Facts.
with regards to Tupac, and you're absolutely right. I think Tupac just maybe I think with the being as faceted as he was, being a slightly a little bit more marketable,
Hmm.
and then willing to just tackle issues that Tretch wasn't willing to tackle. But just in terms of like star power and like around that time, I remember Tretch was huge
Oh
around that
yeah.
time. Naughty by Nature was huge. Um, the hip hop parade, uh, I think is probably I think should be considered the hip hop anthem.
I
You
agree.
know, over
I
time,
agree.
there's like
I
the
agree.
of course there are many hip hop classic songs that came out, but I think just in terms of an anthem representation,
And that impacted everybody. Not
yes,
even
it
just on the
did.
hip hop level. It brought hip hop to another
It
level.
was global. It was a global thing.
Yeah, it was
Like
a
it kind of
global
like
song, man.
just
Yeah.
the whole this with the hands going back and forth,
Hmm.
like we were seeing it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like
Hmm.
I Tretch has Naughty by Nature and Tretch made some of the best songs of my childhood. I can say
Facts.
Hip Hop Parade, Jamboree, Feel Me Flow, um, Ghetto Bastard, Uptown Anthem,
Yep.
OPP. All of their pretty much all of their singles and their albums were fire too. And I remember we had their album when I was we were fairly young. Mom and Dad got that record for that tape for us. The
Yeah, they
first
did.
the first Naughty by Nature with the Everything
The
is Gonna
first
Be
Naughty
All
by
Right.
Nature album.
Yeah,
Yep.
like
Ghetto Bastard. Yep.
so like just from like a nostalgic,
Uptown Anthem. Yep.
right, just from a nostalgic standpoint, Church is always his voice, you know what I'm saying, like how
Yeah.
animated he was coming onto records. I think like like he was up there, like he's stands
Yeah.
out for me definitely over time.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
um all right, so let's do a recap before we get to number one.
Do the rundown.
Let's do a rundown. So number 15 we have Big Crit. Number 14 we have Freeway. Number 13 we have Fonte. Number 12 we have
Mm.
Twista. Number 11 Axe B. Number 10 Rock Marciano. Number 9 Lloyd Banks. Number 8 Pheromone. Number 7 DOC. Number 6 Elzai. Number 5 Sean Price. Number 4 MF Doom. Number 3 AZ. Number 2 Tretch. And
Hmm.
at number 1,
Yes, sir.
drum roll. Um,
Yeah.
bow. We have number 1 Black Thought.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now
Most underrated, man.
question.
In my opinion.
Okay, all right. So and you still now let me ask you this: when you came up with this list, and I know that you revised it before we did the show, did
Right.
you once you revised it, you were still comfortable with your pick that Black Thought, even with everybody that's at this point, Black Thought still to
Right.
you number 1 most underrated rapper of all time.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Okay,
so. I
all right.
think
So
so.
so
He's
if you, yeah, give. How do you feel about Black Thought? I want to hear this.
He's been in the game almost 30 years, man. It's been 30 years of like lyrical excellence, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just he's with a live band, and I think the Roots are so
Mm.
musically driven that he kind of plays like a back role to
Right.
the music, to the musical aspect of the Roots. When he started getting to this solo stuff, that he's actually rapping on hip hop production with the Salam Remy and Ninth Wonder and things like that, brother. This guy is spitting ridiculous at
Yeah.
a late point in his career. And then when you go
Yeah.
back to like game theory and tipping point and
Tipping point.
phrenology and organics and things fall apart, all those
Things
verses
fall apart.
combined, brother, Black Thought
Yeah.
is like hip hop bible of lyrics, man. He's up there with the Jay-Z's, the Cool G raps,
Yes.
the Big Daddy Kanes. He's the best rapper Philly has ever seen and has ever had.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
He's the best rapper to come out of Philly. You can argue Beanie Siegel, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with Black Thought. I'll say Beanie Siegel's number two, and I love
Yeah.
Beanie Siegel. You know what I'm saying? But
And I, and
Philly,
I, and I think if we're gonna be honest here in terms of like just lyrical ability, it's not close that he's number one. It's not close.
it's not. I thought of
Um,
him right away before I made the list, man. I'm not gonna lie to you,
wow,
man. I just think
wow, interesting.
he's up there with the Jay-Z's to me and the Nas's, man. You put
Really
him up
is.
toe to toe, the Eminems, yeah, man. He's up there, brother. You know what I mean? Like Black Thought is up there to me. Check out
Yeah,
his Funk Flex freestyle. Everybody knows the Funk Flex freestyle. The
that's right.
10-minute freestyle, he claims he didn't write any of that. I think he wrote some of it or had some bars looking before.
Right.
But you never know. But
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
crazy, man. Either way, it's just ridiculous what I'm hearing. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm
man.
not gonna
It's
lie to you.
it's amazing. You hit the nail on the head, really. I mean, it's not much else to say where that's concerned. I mean, Black Thought, legendary rapper. Uh,
Facts.
and it's just I mean some of the things I've heard Black Thought say and to be and to like you said to rap with a live band, to be the lead, to be in a group itself, to be considered a group, and
Yeah.
to be no one really considers anybody else when they're thinking of lyric um even performers or lead performers or in the group,
Right.
vocals in the
Right.
group, besides Black Thought, in a group, so like to,
Right.
to make it all the way to the Tonight Show from rapping on the street corner on top
Right.
of buckets and boxes,
Right.
getting donations and all that to make it to the Tonight Show, like Johnny Carson's show, is
Right.
is ridiculously accomplished, and it's not nothing to be taken light. And I think in hip hop it doesn't really get the just due or the credence that
It
it's
doesn't.
supposed to,
Right.
because that's like we broke into a different realm, and they did it doing what they always did. They never ever, they've never once um altered their sound or altered what they were doing to garner more fans or anything like
Right.
that. Black Thought's always
Right.
been Black Thought. Like it's never been anything where he did some other jiggy type of thing or tried to get the party started or none of that.
Exactly.
And
Nah.
they made it, like they were the ones that Jay-Z called to and that's just, and of course we're talking about the roots here. But to
Yes.
get to that point, or even just be considered, you have to have a lead person. And like Questlove, as good as he is on the drums, hip hop is about what people are saying. So like it's a like Black Thought was able to bring that sound to people's ears, even like
Yep.
be like the Questlove and the live instrumentation behind records and how to rap on that. Because I mean, Elmatic, like we were talking about with Elzai, is a perfect example of what the Roots inspired in terms of like live instrumentation
Exactly.
and then rapping over it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Exactly. That's a
So
good. Yeah. It's a good tieway. Yeah.
yeah, and I
That's a
think
good
even
tie
I
into
think
it. I
even
agree.
Elzai, even in the way Elzai raps, his flow, there's a lot of Black Thought influence in there too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Exactly.
Black Thought definitely. I wouldn't disagree with anybody that said he was #1 most underrated. I wouldn't, just because of the accomplishments and where he would. A lot of people would place him in their top 10 rappers of all time.
I don't think he's in anyone's top 5, and I think he's rarely in people's top 10s. But he
Right.
should be in both.
In both.
He should be in the top 10 or 15 somewhere. I know people go off of impact and accomplishments, so maybe him being with the Roots didn't really give him that in the end. But
Just
rapping
in terms
wise,
of the rapper himself,
yeah,
he's got to be up there. I mean,
absolutely.
just the maintenance. I mean, this is the thing. We talk about Jay-Z being as good as he is this late in his career. Talk about Nas being as good as he is this late in his career.
Right.
People really need to go back and listen to. I mean, this is why he's underrated. To get the job at the Tonight Show and to do that as well as he does, but still have the wherewithal to probably drop the best funk flex freestyle we've ever heard among all these young cats that are out here rapping now
Yeah, and he has
is
about
like,
100 of them.
yeah, people got to really take in what Black Thought, brings to the table when it comes to being a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Brings a lot, man. He holds a standard up to certain. You know what I mean? It's like
absolutely,
he puts up a standard when he represents himself. You know what I mean? So I gotta appreciate that about him. At the
absolutely,
end of
man.
the day, man, the most underrated, and because he's with a band, it makes it worse. You know, it's just like, damn, you really knew
Definitely,
what this guy was saying. You know, and you'd be like, wow. Read it on
definitely,
paper, you're like, wow, this is good poetry. You know, so salute to Black Thought, man, the most underrated.
definitely, man. And then we got, and then that's our list. Incredible
Yes,
list.
sir. Yes,
We
sir.
got some honorable mentions here. We got Freddie Gibbs was in the number 18. We got Yo Smooth at 16. We got
Mm,
Cy High the Prince at 21. We got Rod Digger at 22. We got Gene Gray at 20. Rascas at 26. You
mm.
got some names here, and it's true. So a lot
Yeah,
of these
man.
names here are definitely underrated
Hmm.
in their own regard. But we'll definitely tackle a lot of these artists going forward, going some of their albums, and we got a lot more top tens for you guys.
For sure,
A
man.
lot more content coming up. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us. Once again, if you haven't downloaded the Apex Radio app, please do so. And please follow us on
Please
all
download
social
the app, man.
platforms. Sundays
Facts.
at 9 p.m. and re-airing again on Thursdays. Chin, thank you so much for coming through once again. I appreciate it.
As always, brother. Appreciate it, man.
We gotta think.
You
We gotta
know,
find. We got some. A lot of guests coming up too. So we're gonna expand the meeting here and get some more guests going on, and maybe even make it a group situation here
dope.
eventually. So we're gonna be doing some things. So please stick with us. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I'll catch you next week. Peace and love. This is the Uncle Buzz Show. Take care.
Peace out.